Jacobson from Montana State University, and he is the Assistant Dean of the College of Agriculture there at MSU to share a few words with us. So thank you, Dr. Jacobson.
Thank you, John. I'm not going to show you any slides. I'm actually the Associate Director of the Agricultural Experiment Station, and thank you, Whit, for taking me a little bit of time and explaining what a land-grant university is about. We are about getting science on the table. Dave, I want to thank you for that quote, and I'm going to use it with or without your permission. I want to just tell you that research is expensive. Through the history of the land-grant universities, there's been a very interesting trend. Probably back in the 40s and 50s, any agricultural experiment station probably have anywhere between 40 and say 60% of its funds involved in people or facilities, and the rest was available to do flexible research. Today, typical experiment stations, and I'll tell you in Montana, we're about 80% of our funding is involved in people and in places. Very little flexible money to do outside research. And unfortunately, one of the things that's happened is we hire a new young faculty like Brianna or Ivanka. We give them an office, we give them a laboratory, and a hunting license. And so even if they're very, very passionate about a piece of science, they still have to get money to do their research. And I think that's really one of the tragedies that's happened in terms of our public funding for education and research over time. The people part of it, we have scientists, and none of us would be involved in agricultural sciences. I've been a plant pathologist for 45 years. Never had a day I didn't like to go to work. Interesting stuff. Part of what I did was driven by science, but also part of what I did was driven by my ability to get funding to do that science. And I think that's just a fact of life. Facilities. Increasingly, universities are driven by what we call the indirect costs off of grants. Unfortunately, that goes a long way to maintaining the modern laboratories and equipment that we need. So funding is a huge situation. One of the things that in preparing for this talk and talking with a wide range of people is the understanding that domestic sheep diseases, wild sheep diseases are the same things. And it's been very surprising to me with the disease complex in domestic sheep, where we're losing 10-12% of our animals, that if that was in any other science area in agriculture, this would be a major calamity. And yet it's kind of something that's accepted. My daughter's a veterinarian, and she said, "Dad, sheep are just animals born to die." I don't know if that's a good thing to say or not, but that's one of my experiences. So I think we need to do research. And the research that's going to be done is going to help not only the domestic sheep industry, but it will help the wild sheep situation. A couple of my observations in terms of research. Dr. Besser and some of the other people talk about the strains of MOE. I'm a plant pathologist. We have strains of viruses, say, potato virus Y. Some of those strains cause very little damage to potato plants, and some are just so severe they almost kill the plant. So the work on strains, I think, is very, very important. The role of restricted genetics. We know from our domestic animal work, and we've made inbred lines. What happens, we have our inbred lines of sheep or beef. I'm going to tell you that our reproduction is really low. They want to die. As you get your sheep populations, Rana, as they get smaller and smaller, those herds are more and more inbred. Inbreeding probably is maybe not a factor always, but I think we need to really look at what is the genetic diversity in herds, and what is the optimal situation that we should look at. What's the role of stressors, whether it be predators, nutrients, parasites, or other things? I think obviously, in the domestic sheep industry, we know that where we get the mycoplasma of respiratory diseases, stress is often one of the real triggers. And we're working with those animals day in and day out So that seems to be an important thing in the domestic area. I'm not an animal scientist. I'm a plant pathologist, I'm not a wildlife biologist. But in looking at this situation, one of the things that Montana's been challenged with is finding new places to put sheep. And one of the things is got to be away from domestic sheep, and it's got to be a certain size, etc. We have a certified seed potato industry in this state. About half of the McDonald's French fries actually start out as seed potatoes from Montana. These things are very, very valuable. They're very expensive to produce. But I'm wondering if we can't actually develop flocks of disease and parasite-free sheep, and actually they can be the seed stock for going into some of these other areas. And we have laws, Kurt, in the state where you can't move seed potatoes into certain areas unless they come through the quarantine or certification program. So the laws are in place to do something like that. And I think it'd be very, very interesting to find out from our point of view of our domestic sheep, really what are these diseases actually costing us? And they might be costing us a lot more than we think they are. I think that that is an opportunity. I mentioned earlier on, funding is a very, very important thing. From 1994 to 1997, I worked in Washington, D.C., and I hate to almost say that, but what I ran is the National Integrated Pest Management Program. Within that program, there's what we call an area-wide program, and I think that really the study of MOV, or maybe some other things, perhaps some of the parasites, on a landscape basis with this area-wide funding might be something to do. And those programs are funded for 5 years at a time, $10 to $15 million a year. They're huge programs. How many of you have heard of screwworm? In Texas and Arizona, we eradicated it by one of these area-wide programs. We've done the same with a disease, insect on apples called codling moth in the Pacific Northwest. How do these kinds of grants come to be? Well, all the ag experiment stations throughout the nation, we have different regions, but in the western region, for example, where we have a major problem, we end up with what we call working groups of scientists. And I found in this meeting, I found out about science going on at my own university that I didn't even know was happening. And I'm supposed to know those things. But I think that to develop a working group amongst the western region agricultural experiment stations that includes wildlife biologists, sheep producers, other people of interested parties, might go a long way to start to form these groups that will develop a grant. And that's how these larger grants come to be. The scientists get together, really talk about who's doing what, who can do what, who has what facilities, and that's how these larger grants come together. And that's how we're going to have the research money for the Grandas and the Ivankas to do their work in the future. So I would really suggest that we kind of move that direction. If we have the Western Directors, Agricultural Experiment Station Directors meetings, I will certainly bring this to the fore. That's where you put together these groups of very passionate faculty. These passionate faculty can develop those grant groups. I really want to thank and compliment Fish, Wildlife and Parks, the Bull Growers, and the Wild Sheep Foundation for putting this together. This is the beginnings of how you start to get those working groups and get things on the ground. I would say one of the last things I want to leave you with is someplace we need somebody that has a filing on who's doing what where. I didn't realize the work that was going on at South Dakota State University, for example. I think we have some facilities at Montana State University that we can do some good things. I'm going to tell you a lot of it's going to be driven by funding. But I think we have some opportunities. So I'll leave it with that. I think the ag experiment stations, we deal with primarily crops and livestock. But wildlife are part of that mix, and I think some of the things that we're working on, the mix of disease between domestic and wild is one of the most important things we can be doing. So with that, I'll leave it, and I think I might have caught the thing up on time. Thank you, John. Yes.
Thank you, Vanna. Would like to make one comment. I know in our operation, we have less than 2% debt loss on our ewes. And I don't know any sheep producer that has a 10% debt loss. And if they do, it's management. And so I would like to correct that,
The losses I was talking about included the lambs and poor performance from lambs that have been diseased. And I think Brianna pointed out, it's not our ewes that are a problem, it's the loss of lambs. So.
Kind of posed as a statement, but also a question. Barry, you talked about a working group that, money makes you relevant in research. Money makes anything relevant, including conservation and agriculture. And you threw out a thought, a working group of mixed ag and wildlife folks. And in this room, we have Mike Cox, who is the current chairman of the Waterwa Wild Sheep Working Group. And I hope Mike heard that extension of an opportunity to the wild sheep interest, both vet and biologists, to maybe join in agriculture in seeking some joint funding, and that will support a different kind of effort.
Well, one of the things when you have these working groups or regional committees, if it's approved through the Directors Association, there is funding for the scientists to get together and actually do some work. So it's a way of leveraging some funds to really get people together to do good science. Thank you, John.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Now, I've got 2 minutes to 10. We'll have a 20-minute break as scheduled. We're a little bit early there, but then that will leave a little bit more time at the tail end, which is going to be very important, I think, as we talk about moving forward. So we will reconvene here at 20 minutes after the hour. Thank you.